Now video feed is not coming, ma'am.
This feed, I am not visible.
Not visible, ma'am. Earlier you were visible, but right now you aren't, ma'am.
Okay. Just give me a minute because I was just going through the questions.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
So I think
Yeah,
then the
now
video stopped.
now camera is active, ma'am. Camera is active, ma'am.
Now,
Just a second. Just a second, ma'am. So we are live on YouTube as well as on Zoom. Good afternoon, participants. Just a second, ma'am. Good afternoon, participants. Welcome to the live session of the course, introducing postmodern art and literature, theories and practice. Our instructor, Dr. Purnima ma'am, is here with us. Kindly feel free to join in and clear all your doubts. Yeah. So we have received few questions via Google form. First, we will start with
Excel sheet with me.
over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for sharing this screen. So the first question that we are going to take is from Deepak Kumar, and he has asked in his question that could you explain how movements like pop art or conceptual art reflect broader postmodern values such as fragmentation or irony, right? In exploring different art styles, how do we decide whether a style belongs to postmodernism or just late modernism? This is a very good question. And basically, what that is what we were discussing when we were discussing postmodernism, that certain elements of modernism stays in postmodernism. So that's why it is very difficult to tell at times that we will which category we will put in. But if you know the age, you can just take it according to like if it is before 1960s, you can put it in modern. If it is after 1960s, then you can put it in postmodernism. So if you have a doubt, it's better to be historical. So historically, it will be accurate. If it is before 1960, it is late modernism. If it is after 1960, it is postmodernism. So that could be the time frame. Otherwise, in postmodernism, the styles are mixing. So if there is a mixing of styles, we will have difficulty in actually telling that this is a modern style or a postmodern style. And as we have already said, that some of the postmodern styles, like Cubism is modern, Fauvism is modern, but it has persisted in postmodernism. So that examples would be there. Fragmentation is there in modernism, it is there in postmodernism. So a clear break is not visible. A clear break we could see if it is a pop art thing, if there is a bricolage, where we have or a conceptual art, which is the first part of your question. From the second part of your question, we are moving to the first part of your question. And the first part of your question is how pop art or conceptual art reflect broader postmodern values. So the first part is answering your second part. So pop art or conceptual art, when we are looking at pop art, we understand what is popular. Actually, it took the form of pop art. So pop art was also what it was doing, it was deviating from the traditional norms. There was a lot of mixing of styles in pop art. And it was also mixing of the later questions are also asking it. It was also mixing of high and low culture. Like when we were talking about Andy Warhol. So the diamond dust shoes. So what they represent? They represent mass culture. They represent consumer culture. So if for a very layman perspective, if we take Bollywood, we take on any postmodern movie, any movie that is created today. So the songs they may not be very. It is easy to remember the lyrics, but they may not be very meaningful, or they may not be very substantial in the meaning that it is creating. So that kind of mixing of high and low culture is a very uh, important significant feature of postmodern. The problem that comes in understanding postmodernism is the plurality. So sometimes we see that this is also happening, tradition is also there, but then there is also a deviation from tradition. And what is conceptual art actually? Pop art is the lower culture mixing with the higher culture. Conceptual art is more in the idea that you are presenting. So you may take up different themes, you may take up different units also, you may take up different kind of material also, and you can put it up together. The very important example is Duchamp's urinal. So that urinal, why it becomes an example of conceptual art, that it is just a urinal, but when it is displayed as art, it is also a kind of rebellion. It's also a kind of saying that I don't agree. So anything and everything, and then a very important aspect of conceptual art is ready-made art, because art is a commodity, and somehow postmodernism emphasizes art as a commodity. Art becomes a commodity. So marketability is there. If art is good, if its saleability is high, if it can in high numbers, it can get value in high. So that saleability, if it is there with something, that makes that art very popular. So that culture, so if it may be good or bad, you cannot judge a work good or bad. If it is selling, it is marketable, then it is good. So you see that all those blockbuster movies, book that becomes bestseller, so they may not be very scholarly book, but if it is a bestseller, then it is an audience demand. A movie which may not be a very good movie, you may criticize it on various points, but if it is getting viewership, if it is a blockbuster, then we have to accept it as a valid art form, because some or how or the other, the audience is relating to it. So who are we to tell that you should watch it or not watch it? So censorship, now you see that how censor boards have become irrelevant. Everything is being passed because somehow the audience demand has gone for the lower side of the culture. So this is again why we also find it very complicated to understand postmodern art, because we don't understand that why certain work which have not much substantial value, if we look at it or judge it as a work of art, but it is popular. So we cannot debate on its popularity. We may debate on its scholarliness, its authenticity. We can criticize it on so many points. But if a work of art is popular, then that is its own criteria. And that has become a criteria in postmodern times. So I think that uh, talks about the values of postmodernism. And it was also a break from tradition. Like modernism, postmodern is also trying to innovate, invent, reinvent. That's why they are using mixing techniques. They are taking different fabrics, mixing it together, or different styles, mixing it together, or just displaying three blank canvases. So what is this? Three blank canvas can mean nothing, but it can mean so much. We can interpret it in so many different ways. So that is what postmodernism is giving you. It is giving you a window. So if you can buy, like there was a mirror by Duchamp, and that mirror had broken. And he said that this mirror is not complete work of art. So what did he mean? He meant that anything in the world will break, And breaking of a mirror is also an art. Everything is in a creation, is in process of creation. So it's every time we are doing something. So first question, participant has joined, so it is becoming a one-way process. Can we take up the second question?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, because I think when students are there, then it becomes more engaging. But
Yes,
fine,
ma'am. Since
the
it's
questions
a
are there.
yeah,
Yes.
correct, ma'am. Since it's a weekday, we don't know whether they
Yes.
are busy or not, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead with the next
So
question, ma'am.
there is another question by Janani Parashar, and she is a postdoc fellow, and she has asked that please discuss on the following: when we talk about a transmodern world, does it mean modernism is ending or is it evolving into something new? It's a very good question. Actually, both. You have understood it. Somehow that receipt remains and it goes to the next time. So when postmodern ended, that is again we don't have a very clear cut date, but now like new critics like Epstein they believe that transmodernism has started. So earlier when we were saying that what was happening in postmodernism was there was a movement from Eurocentrism or Europocentrism to Americanocentrism, but still there was a center. America was trying to dominate the world economics, the world on various levels. It had a kind of control over or power over other countries that you may call global south or third world countries or African nation or Asian countries. They were being dominated by America. But in transmodernism, it is trans. The word is trans. So nothing is at the center. So and that is more closer to deconstruction. That we are there is no Eurocentrism, no Americanocentrism. All the voices are together there in this kind of new era. So it actually highlights the word trans, the situation where nationalism is also questioned, that okay, nationalism would be a very fixed boundary. So we are transnationals, we are global citizens. So trans in every way. So nothing is at the center. And it is a time where everything is accepted. Nothing has fixed boundaries. In gender also, gender fluidity is appreciated or it is accepted. So somehow or the other, it is a more broader, more accepting era, which opens all possibilities. So now we are in the world which we may call transmodernism. And yes, it is after postmodernism, and it is also a kind of continuation of postmodernism. So very relevant question. Yes, it is evolving and it is evolving. So what will transmodernism lead us into? We don't know. And somehow or the other, it is already following the postmodern models. So still we have parody, still we have pastiche, still we have simulacra, simulation, video games. Those things are still very relevant that were there in postmodernism. So yes, the concept has come up, but a very deep change we haven't witnessed yet. How is postmodern feminist fiction different from, and this is a question by another student, Vinita, and she has asked that how is postmodern feminist fiction different from earlier feminist writing? And this is very important because the example that I gave about the dystopian fiction when Margaret Atwood is writing, these women are talking about a society where women are trying to find their voices, and they are showing that women can lead, and if women are not given their voices, how the world will turn upside down. And that's why I also gave the example of Chimamanda Adichie, that these women are also saying that just don't identify us as women, but identify us as author. So they don't want a segregated, separated women section, or in syllabus, they don't want to be just women writers. They want to be accepted in a broader sense as an author. And that's why all the feminist writers that you will find in postmodern times, they are more more vocal, they are more independent, and they are now not hiding their kind of identity. Like most of the female authors earlier would write with a male pseudonym, or there would be certain things where they would try to draw a barrier that this is not fit for women. But now women writers have opened up. They have opened sometimes they still there was derogatory words like chicklet that was used to somehow put the women's literature down. But women voice have emerged, and there are so many. Actually, when we try to generalize something as broad as postmodern age and as broad as cross mixing of genres, that it is very difficult to say one thing that makes it different. But that one thing for me, I would believe, is the more uh, women are more vocal now. Women are more vocal about their rights. Women have been very creative, and women from the third world countries, women like Maya Angelou, women like Toni Morrison, women like Chimamanda Adichie, women like Kiran Desai, uh, and Arundhati Roy, they have come and they have captured the literacy, and they have equally strong voice as any male author. So this stronger female voice, this stronger feminine presence in literature itself is what makes postmodern feminist fiction a very strong feminist fiction. So they are stronger, and that has also to do with the plurality that has come up. And yes, we are also talking about LGBTQ, and we are also talking about gender fluidity. So we have moved beyond to a certain extent, especially in literature. We in society we may find injustices, but in literature, women's voice have become very prominent. They have come out in the open. They have talked about their experiences. They have talked about motherhood. They have talked about surrogacy. They have talked about work, because women in workforce have become a very strong agent in postmodern age, because still modern age some kind of constraint was there for working women. But now more women are coming out, they are working, they are taking up the seat, and they're leading from the front. So that is aspect of women leaders, women reformers, and women voices that is being said and that is heard. Misogyny is there. If we are talking in terms of postmodern fiction, women's fiction, they have found their voice and represent. And then from representation to identity are also answering themselves that yes, earlier women were represented. So when Cleopatra says that people have already imagined who I am, because before I open my mouth, people have already made a judgment about me. So women who have been labeled, women who have been stereotyped, they have been seen through the lens of men. But when women are writing and they are writing all forms of fiction, then they have found themselves. They have found their own identity. And that's why they have, yes, of course, you can say that they have moved from the representation by others to forming their own identity and representing what being a be and let be. That part very beautifully done in the postmodern age, and that's why we can celebrate postmodern writers, especially because their role has been very significant, and I think they have also experimented. Because when you were looking at writers, the male authors were talking, they were talking, but women voices were equally prevalent in all forms. So they are also working on magic realism. They are also working on dystopian fiction. They are also writing science fiction. So women fiction is no longer just about the stories of women, but women fiction is also about the world in general. Yes, so they have found somewhere they are finding and struggling and constructing that. So of course, very valid. Then I have has two questions. Her first question is, in what ways does the idea of high culture and low culture get challenged in postmodern art and literature? Actually, what postmodern art and literature is doing, it is not just challenging high culture and low culture, but it is very beautifully mixing high culture and low culture. And it is like we would say that it is creating a kind of hybrid. So you will find characters of Rushdie. They are hybrid characters, something from here, something from there, something from Russia, something from Japan, something from India, and the character is built. So that is how cultures are also mixing. So it is a very good, and that's why I'm and all the instruments, percussion, everything is used, and then we suddenly shift into something that you may call is also misogynist, or uh, which is low culture, which is not using nice words or choice words. They're there, and they're coexisting. So this is something that postmodern age has come at. It is neither challenging high culture nor challenging low culture. It has come into some kind of acceptance. Yes, there was some time when we critique high culture, we say that it is for a class, a group of people. But if we look at Bellows' work, Saul Bellows' work, he's an American fiction writer, you will find that Saul Bellows' work has a lot of postmodern thing. So there you will find a kind of person who is a goon, right? And that person's girlfriend is a university PhD scholar. And what he does, and this is a part of Humboldt's gift, and I'm just giving you an example from Belarus. So in that, what happens? Scholar, he knows about a lot many things. His student Charles Attree is also scholar, who know about a lot many things. And then what happens? These people are also jealous. They are misogynists. They are struggling in their own lives being a scholar. So sometimes we all are having that high culture and low culture within us. So we are critiquing it in our own mind, and we are also imbibing it at the same time. And Charles Attreen is threatened by the underworld, and he has to help a girl in PhD dissertation because the boyfriend, the man she is dating, is a man of the underworld. So see how high and low culture are coexisting, and this coexistence has been the norm of the postmodern times. We may be revolted by it, but it is something that we cannot do away with. So obscenity has entered literature, it has entered films, and sometimes again, what is obscene and what is not obscene? What is what would you say? The freedom of expression. So when we come to freedom of expression and when we come to art, then nothing is obscene. So that kind of I also postmodern art does. So after that, I think there's no difference that remains between high and low culture. Somehow they merge with each other, and it gives a new perspective that high and low culture can coexist. So, modern age was highbrow, save literature from become. So both the styles have coexisted. Some authors are mixing it themselves, some authors are dealing with high culture, some are dealing with low culture. And they have all simultaneously they have existed. So another very good question. And of course, it is challenged to some extent because low culture, of course, we often see that something is not valid or we have censorship. But again, some kind of acceptance is also happens, kind of mixing of high and low cultures also. Now we come to the last question, that could you give a real life cultural example where residual culture of modernism and emergent culture from postmodernism coexist? Okay, very nicely put question, and I think that there are many examples we can give. When we talk about how residual of modernism and postmodernism, like I gave an example of paintings. So cubism or fragmentation was a technique that developed during modern times. But postmodern painters are still using that technique. Or abstract expressionism was there. Even conceptual art and postmodern art, they borrow certain styles of modernism. In real life, if you want a very nice example of modernism mixing with postmodernism, then I would say, I'm just looking for the best example that I can get. Again, I would say that the movies would be one of those examples where you see that classical has persisted, and they have also borrowed a lot from the newness that is coming. So this could be a very good example of how modernism and postmodernism have persisted, and how it is a continuity of modernism, and how it has become a part of postmodernism. Another example, if we see of residual culture, is if we look at the modern times, what were people seeing and what were people witnessing? They were witnessing a lot of war. And the postmodern times in cultural context also, we are witnessing the same thing. We are writing anti-war novels, and it is happening. Consumerism, capitalism, I think all these things, industrialization, all these things actually started in the modern time. So whatever is now is all a kind of rebranding and refurbishing and re-representation of the modern. So the postmodern is only kind of giving it new names. We are actually, everything has already existed, and this is also the problem of postmodernism, that how we will make something new. So what we are actually doing is we are just rebranding. So terms like romanticism have turned into eco consciousness, eco criticism, and see how the rebranding is an aspect of postmodernism, because brands are very important. How brands have stayed in postmodernism, that is also a very classic example of residual culture in postmodernism. So in modernism also you will find that there is a lot of branding, selling, uh, and that selling, that commodification, it it reshapes itself in postmodernism. So I think anything that we pick up from the modern times, it has been reshaped in some, and it has become a part of literature, of art, uh, of things, of commodities. They have been rebranded. Like shoes, again, shoes. Why I use the image of shoes? Because shoes have been used by Van Gogh. See the same image of the shoes, but that shoes have a backstory. That shoes are torn shoes of a worker who has worked hard, so it has a backstory. Andy Warhol's shoes, diamond dust shoes, are an object of commodification. So they are a commodity displayed. So that's the difference. But that is also how you are borrowing an image and you are reusing it to create another image. And that is what postmodernism, even pop art, the first question that we had, that pop art and conceptual art are also doing that. Like the soup cans, Campbell's soup cans. I gave that example. So they are the images, they are brand images, but they are used as art. So if you have an idea, belief, earlier what was art? What is painted is created. But idea, if you have an idea, if you have a concept, you can make that idea and the concept into art. That is conceptual art. And that is how we are borrowing from modernism and rebranding it in the form of an idea, a thought, a belief, and we are representing it in postmodern. So there are several examples that we can see in food culture also. Residual culture has been postmodern times. I think these are all only 4 questions that we had. I have given sufficient answers to it. So can we stop for today?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am, for answering all those queries raised by the students in a very detailed manner with a lot of examples. Since students have not joined this session, we hope that they will watch the event, the recorded event on YouTube later on and benefit from it. Thank you so much, ma'am. We will close the session now.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
welcome.